Good morning.
Great morning.
Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and share. We about to jump right in this. You know what it is. Our Beauty Equilibrium podcast.
Tell them.
Episode 27. We're going live from Los Angeles this wonderful August 4th, 2020.
How much it costs, dog?
Oh, to subscribe?
Yeah.
Free 99.
Free, dog. Don't cost no money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free 99.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
What's
wanna
up,
hop
Sheen?
right into
What's
it.
up? What's up?
Let's get into it.
She got that glow today. She got that glow like
real?
usual.
Yeah.
Got that glow.
I'll
I'm
take
happy
that.
to be here today.
On the
Yeah.
AM fresh on a Tuesday, we have Breonna Taylor. The cop still hasn't been arrested who murdered her in her own place. Also, we're going to talk about the popular producer, produced for Pop Smoke, The Woo,
The baby, I think, too.
Lil Uzi Vert. You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, he made some off-color remarks about her death, and we're going to address that.
So Oprah's magazine, for those who don't know, has been around for 20 years, and she's been on every single cover. And this is the first time that Oprah has not been on the cover, and she chose to put a portrait of Breonna Taylor.
That's big.
Yeah, that's huge. We covered that in a previous podcast, but that's big.
I do love that she did that, but I wonder if she's just trying to gain, some support from the people because of all the shenanigans that her name, along with other people, is involved in.
I'm just glad she's happy to step up,
Yeah, but that could be a double meaning right there. That's tricky because all of them is, we said we was gonna be careful.
Yeah,
We said we're gonna chill out.
I'm gonna be careful.
I'm just glad that
I don't want the show taking forever to get uploaded.
She finally, used her
platform.
There you go. That's
Right.
the perfect word to get the word out. Oprah, thank you. Can you please do a little bit more for us? We really appreciate that. But shout out to Oprah.
That's big, though, because you got to think.
It's very big.
We always want people to use their platform and their celebrity to, fight for our issues and our injustices. So I feel like it's a lot of stuff going on right now. That is a good gesture, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because nobody had to do that. And I don't know what has anybody else done?
And I feel like that's something that doesn't fall on deaf ears because at the end of the day, she has such a huge following. People who probably wouldn't even think about or give it a second thought or looking at it now like, hey, you know what? It gives them a time to look into Breonna Taylor as an individual. You know what I mean? Her life basically was spent doing good for others.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
She was a service person. She served as far as like an EMT. You know what I mean? She was going to go pursue her career as like a nurse.
And let me interject. I don't know if you guys know how strenuous it is to just take the class to be EMT.
Right.
I was trying at one point to be a firefighter. That EMT class, I had to take that class about 2-3 times. It is not easy.
Right.
So, just for her to put herself out there and, take on that risk of being a first responder.
Exactly.
That speaks volumes because you're putting someone else's, a stranger life, ahead of you.
Yeah.
So, I
agree, Shonda.
It's definitely, she should, be recognized and we should definitely get justice for her.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, the travesty is the fact that she was in her own home. You know what I mean? When you're in the comfort of your own home at night, sleeping or whatever, and then to have died by something that you don't even know.
What up, Jay?
Basically, you don't know what hit you. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate.
Right.
At this point, they actually changed the law, and now they don't have the no-knock warrant anymore. You know what I mean? That's a good thing. But why would you make a law and then not have the police officer still in
What
this
was their
day
reason
not
again?
arrested? You know what I mean?
What was their reason again for
A
running up in there?
warrant because somebody who previously used her address had a warrant for his arrest, and then they were going to go basically.
It's still some bull because
Yeah.
they already.
I was just wondering if it was like,
bro.
if it was drug related or anything because of what that dude said.
Well,
it is, but it's not at the same time.
But it's
Right.
it's something that was connected to the individual that was already in custody. You know what I mean? He was already arrested. So here they are going to her home, and her loved one, you know, her boyfriend was basically protecting his home. You know, he had a right to carry. He was registered.
Right.
And how in the world would you know that somebody's coming in to basically do something that is not going to harm you if you're in your own home? You know.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
And not making themselves, you know, known. They didn't announce themselves.
Right.
You know, hey, I'd have been scared and blazed up the place too. I'd have tried to shoot everybody.
Yeah. What else
know?
you gonna do?
Yeah,
Right.
that's fight or flight.
Just running up
Right.
into my house.
And it's also devastating because at the end of the day, now you have a person who I always think about, like, I try to think about like everything, you know what I mean? And I feel like his her boyfriend was arrested and spent time in jail because, of course, what happened with the officer, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just sad because you have to live with that every day, you know what I
Right.
mean? Having a loss and also being basically judged for something that you just tried to do good in, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Shonda made a good point about this may help everybody gain more knowledge, you know, and not just for our people, but even
Agreed.
outside of our people, because dialogue is the key. Once you start talking about something, that's at least a first step.
Yeah.
Right.
There's certain things like the no-knock warrant that you think about after somebody's life was taken, and it's like, wow, should we have those? I mean, I get it. You want to drop on the criminal,
Right.
but you don't know who's in there.
Well, you know how they say every safety rule it comes up after the accident.
After a tragedy.
So
Yeah, that's true. Every time you see a sign,
That's
that's a
a
warning. Somebody already took a loss.
yeah.
Right.
Somebody already took an L. So hopefully, like with just the conversation and Oprah putting her on the cover and bringing that back up, because, you know, out of sight, out of mind. Sometimes if you're not, you know, trending
Right,
and
right.
if it's not, you know, the topic of the week, people forget about you. So
Yeah.
I think it's dope, especially for something that has been, like was said earlier, in everyone's home for 20 years. And she's been on every cover to take herself off the cover and put her on the cover. Is big because a lot of people on social media and different platforms, they say, hey, you know what, say these people's names, you know, keep this going, because we know how.
What up, Tay?
How many times has something, you know, been a topic of the week and then we just forget about it?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
because it's
Right.
not trending anymore.
You know, I was, you know, social media has so much stuff on there. And one thing, I hope that it's, you know, relevant. They said, you know, next time, you know, bring it to the FBI, because whatever comes on the FBI's, you know, desk, they have to investigate.
Right.
They're not going to, you know, because, you know, you go to the police department and making a report about a police officer, of course they're going to brush it on the rug, or even if he does get, you know, punished or prosecuted for, all he's going to do, police officer's going to just go to another, you know, police department, or he probably get retired with full benefits or something like that.
Right.
So it's really not, it's still not doing anything. So, you know, I hope the information I got was,
I'm sorry, man, but Damon, what up, man? Damon is hilarious. He said, does white America know Oprah is black? They just figured out Beyonce is.
David.
man, I love this dude. He is hilarious.
D?
What up, D? Yeah,
America
man.
just found out how black she was.
Oh man, that was
That's facts. But I love it though, because at the end of it, it does come down to representing and reminding people that, hey, these issues, this is not some, you know, some make believe thing that's just a hashtag. This is real.
These
and
are
sometimes it
people's
takes somebody
lives, bro.
forcing it in your face
Right.
and blacking out on you to say, hey, you
Yeah.
know what? Let's look into this. Maybe it is something there. And
Yeah.
they may have figured it out right now, you know.
That's
and there's no
hilarious.
telling.
Right. But this is, to me, it's so people are so indifferent. I know, but at the end of the day, some people will draw a line in the sand over her just choosing to have that on her cover. You know what I mean?
right.
And then others will look at it as something as needed to be done. So at the end of the day, like, it very well speaks to people who needed to have that in their face, you know what I mean, as a reminder, because at the end of the day, you're not thinking and committing to thinking more deeply into things that you see, you know, and that's what the problem is. And that's why on social media, J.W. Lucas, in my opinion, to me, when he chose to speak out against something, which is his platform,
what did he exactly
you know
say?
what I mean?
It's probably time to go into. What did he say?
Yeah, it's
we
just,
have the feed for that.
Yeah, hold on one second.
You know,
to me, it's like blatant disrespect, because at the end of the day, I know everybody can say whatever they want to. You know what I mean? But check yourself first. Fact check a little bit and know something before you speak on something. And some people feel so emboldened that they speak on something
this is what
that
he
they
said.
don't know
He said,
about.
why is the world asking for justice for #Breonna Taylor? Of course she shouldn't have lost her life, but you do realize that she was involved with multiple drug dealers who were just using her house as a trap spot. If you sign up for that life, there are consequences.
Yeah, that's a little insensitive.
That is a little insensitive.
Just because it's, I personally feel like, could it be true? Yeah, but it don't make it right. It don't make it nice or
no
right.
one deserves that.
Yeah,
you know?
it doesn't.
I think.
And he needs to do a little fact checking, because I mean, once again, he doesn't have all the facts. So
Yeah.
you know,
And when I mean by true, I'm saying like whenever you're involved in a certain lifestyle, a certain type of energy, you do have to be aware of what comes with that.
True.
But that don't mean that, you know, that this is the time to speak on that. She got family that's still grieving and all of that.
That's also,
and it doesn't excuse
assuming,
injustice.
Right, but that's also assuming that the person knew about the lifestyle
And
that he
it's
was
false
leading.
info.
And on top of that,
Right.
he wasn't with her then, and he was already arrested. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I felt like if you look at her just as an individual, then you'll see that she was on her grind. She was doing what she was supposed to do, as far as how we, you know, and being 26 years old or whatever. That's really, you know, ambitious. You know what I mean? She could have lived a full life. You know, had it not been for something that was like not
Right. And so what
know.
if she was trapping for a minute? I mean, everybody
She
go through
wasn't,
things.
though.
You don't.
I mean,
She
I just want to
Okay,
say
she
this,
wasn't.
You know, like,
She was not.
you know,
She wasn't.
I'm pretty sure this, you know, J.W. Lucas or whoever he is, you know, very successful. He's a producer, right?
Yeah.
right.
And I give you that, young man or whoever you are, but bro, where's your humanitarian? What do you do besides music? Like, are you doing anything for your community? You know, or did you even help a lady across the street, bro? This
Bang.
woman was an EMT. That means she was putting her life on the line for other people to save people. So I mean, bro,
And even the idea that just because someone that you know sells drugs or dope, I mean, everybody, if not directly, you are connected to somebody that deals or sells drugs or uses drugs. So if that's the case, we all can get a bullet then.
What's that scripture? He without saying throw the first stone, bro. Where your rocks at? Show me your rocks. Hell, you could throw them at me if you unsinning.
Yeah.
Know me? Like, but watch it. You know, that's
No, that's not. It's not the time for that right now.
Very insensitive.
Yeah, it's very insensitive.
You know,
but
watch that, man.
But this goes, like, first of all, I do want to say this too. If you even Google him and see other conversations that he's had, hold on, Shonda said,
I can tell he young. You know,
All these people are young.
you know.
see, somebody said all black artists need to stop working with him. Okay, Shonda.
I was
see what you're
just
saying.
thinking that, Shonda.
See the
Just thinking
I don't
that.
even, damn, I didn't even
She,
get that.
who
One.
is she? She tune in all the time.
Oh, that's my own girl.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah.
All my people good, bro.
Yeah. She be tuning in every
But I
week.
just want to say
Shout out
this.
to my homegirl Shonda. Long time.
It's very
lifetime
telling
friend.
how people deal with things as far as like the world goes, because unfortunately Nick Cannon said something that you know, was controversial a few weeks ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he issued an apology to the community who he offended. He got fired. He basically
got canceled.
lost a lot of support from
For
people,
speaking his
from
opinion.
followers, Exactly.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it was due to a guest that was having a conversation to him, and it's just conversation.
That's
you know what I
agreed.
mean? And I feel like at the end of the day, he had to face so many repercussions, and now you have this person. You see the total difference in how people deal with things, you know?
Right.
And it's like, where's all this energy that you guys had, that everybody had? And I'm not just talking about like black people, but where's all the energy from other people, other communities, other people, whatever, that are checking somebody for somebody else? You know what I mean? Tamika Mallory got on her live and said something in regards to what he said, because she's in BLM. She's like boots on the ground. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Every day, living it, you know, taking time to basically bring these issues forward or whatever. And here you have somebody speaking on somebody, which is totally wrong.
Is J.W. Lucas even black?
No, I don't
No.
think so.
No, he's not. No.
Yeah, that one of them black artists should have checked him so cold.
His melanin, he did not have no melanin in that skin complexion he had.
But you bring up a good point, because the bottom line is, until it's like Dr. Claude Anderson always talks about having infrastructure and having platforms to make choices and decisions on.
Right.
If you don't have that, that's when we normally turn on each other, because you realize at those moments we can't cancel anybody.
Right.
We can't cancel anybody.
Right.
We don't have a network to say you're done.
Exactly.
We don't have a major distribution company to say you're done.
Well,
as
he's a
people.
producer. They can cancel him. Like, bro, we don't need.
No, what I'm
but
saying, all you can do is your individual part, like y'all said, stop working with him. But you can't take him off a record label. You can't say, I can't pick up the phone and say, hey, Jay, shut him down over there.
Yeah.
Right.
Something
You
that's
see what I'm
going to
saying?
really affect
like,
that individual.
Like, look what happened with Nick Cannon. That was a couple phone calls and he was done.
Yeah.
Done.
See, that's a different amount of power and a different amount of,
That's that
influence.
That's that economic, power. Because,
Right.
hey, yeah.
Yeah, so I just feel like it is like a funny situation that he's able to say that. And then even, like you said, Nick Cannon apologized, right?
Exactly.
Even in his comeback, his rebuttal wasn't an apology. It was one of those,
Right.
if my words offended anybody, then Like, if your words offended anybody.
Right.
Like, come on, man, you're talking about somebody that's no longer here. So I feel like we do need to have dialogue, because I think that you should be able to say how you feel without necessarily getting canceled. Because here's my fear. If everybody continues with this cancel culture, nobody's going to ever learn anything. You're going to say something stupid, you're going to get canceled, and then we never going to have a dialogue. You're never going to understand why what you said was offensive. You're never going to understand what you should have said or how you should have approached it. It's just going to be canceled.
Well, they slowly just taking our freedom of speech away, seem like, just with everything. You can't say nothing. You can't keep it real about your opinion. You can't say anything.
And I feel like, exactly. That's very true, because what happened to having teachable moments? You know what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes you say something out of line. I mean, I say something out of line or whatever.
Right.
I'm a person. I'm a human. It's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, like, I'm able to go back, look at what happened, somebody, and at least I have a network and friends, you know what I mean? Jason, you know what I mean? Somebody, hey, look, pull me by the collar.
Right.
Tell me something that I didn't know. I'm going to go and research it. I'm going to go do this or whatever. Sometimes you have to think yourself out of a situation, and talk about it.
You're right.
You can't just learn from your mistakes by basically just covering it up and not talking about it anymore,
Right. No, that's exactly what I meant when I said dialogue needs to take place, because as long as we're on opposite ends of whatever opinion, every time, and especially during an election, when we're leading up to that vote, all these things get blown out of proportion. Anything having to do with race, anything having to do with gun control, abortion, any of the key election points, they're going to get traction so fast, because you're trying to be divided. You're trying to be, marginalized and put you over here, you guys over here, because we need to get this vote together. We need y'all to see which side of the coin y'all gonna be on. So things like this, if you go back and look at Mr. Lucas, he has been saying stuff out of pocket.
But what do you think about him saying basically that he should be the leader of Black Lives Matter?
That's
He
ridiculous.
said that too?
Yes.
I didn't see that part.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day,
He says a lot of stuff, though.
Patience with this,
Honestly.
and
Right.
I've only heard it for
I mean, to
small
cancel that
stint.
dude.
Nah,
My
but look.
patience is running thin with this individual because he
But I think it goes back to what G is talking about.
uneducated
Though.
on his opinions of
Yep.
of what's going on.
But see,
So,
that dude could
There
be
is a lack of accountability, Sean. You're right.
exactly accountability.
I mean, but like G was just saying, there's so many distractions and tactics and different things that they do to, like he said, around election time, get everybody on all opposite sides of the fence. You know, when if we all was focused on the main issue right now, Black lives, you know, people
Right.
of oppression, then
Right.
they would be forced to have to do something about it. But if I
Right.
get everybody all over the place and distracted, we all gonna be back voting for different reasons, you know. And
This, I can promise you, if you go and Google the interviews that he's done, this is not the most egregious thing that he said. It's getting traction right now because it's sexy, because we got Biden versus Trump, and we're going into and people want your vote, and we're going into we are not that far out from having a new president or the same president. That's the bottom line.
Well,
So
maybe
all
we
of
need
these,
to-
all of these matters are going to get sensationalized and shoved down your throat.
And now
to
they
the
use
10th
races
power.
like bait. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
of all the things that's going on, you know.
You know, maybe, this Lucas character, I'm not saying, everybody need to cancel him or someone needs to stop working with the dude. But, if you are working with this dude, you might want to, address, what he's been talking about, like, and check him and let him know that this ain't cool, especially if he's working, in the culture of Black music and everything like that. Because, some people just need to be put in their place. That's it.
He's talking about how his white privilege is how he could be a better voice for Black Lives Matter. Bro, it's wicked, trying to be Kanye.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and if you read some of his tweets,
Trying to be Kanye.
he did speak about some actual issues in the midst of all of his ignorant rhetoric. It was a few points about this being an election year, and I agree with him on that point. I do think that what he's saying is being put on every outlet because of what's at stake right now.
Mm-hmm.
But something that struck me is he never made the connection of what was offensive about what he said. And I think that's what, even with Nick Cannon, I keep on going back because these are two individuals that are both within their own respects successful. You know what I mean? And they both said something that another group of people deemed offensive, right? The way that they were treated after that is, one got immediately like, is Nick Cannon okay? Like, you know what I'm
I was
saying?
gonna say, how's he even doing?
And with J.W. Lucas, it's like we need to have dialogue. I think somebody should have sat down with Nick Cannon. I know he sat down with the rabbi.
He did.
But I think that you need that type of dialogue needs to continue. Same thing with this individual. We gotta
Sit
talk.
down with Farrakhan.
Get him on the show.
Farrakhan give him a couple of bars. Now,
Hey.
young man.
Hey, you know what?
Let me
it might take
holla
that.
at
But I
you.
feel like, what happened to my opinion? What happened to, like, can I speak on something?
Man.
You know what I mean? And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Check me.
Check.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, and let that be that.
See, that's real life. You say
That's
something
real
stupid,
life.
you get checked, and I think we getting
Exactly.
away from that.
Well, it's funny to go along with that.
Nobody's above getting
because
checked.
everybody's
Nobody's
on
above
the
getting checked.
Everybody
Exactly.
gets checked.
like
B.
how everybody wants to be positive.
Exactly.
And I get it, like positive vibes is great, but I seen a post that made me think the other day where someone was like, y'all so big on positivity that y'all don't even know how to handle like an emotional like difference or something they were saying.
Exactly.
Like they're just, so it just can't never be no negativity.
Right,
like we
right.
can't never have
But that's so
Unrealistic.
hypocritical too. Like when we go to these other countries as a nation, right? Mm-hmm. And we run up in there and we take resources and we do all the things that the United States is infamous for across the globe.
Right.
We don't have this political correctness.
Right.
And
yeah.
so I'm saying this idea of political correctness is actually harmful in some respects because it kills dialogue.
Yeah, it's not authentic. Nothing's organic no more.
It's like I can't react.
Right.
Exactly.
You know,
Like-
even with this
You even
podcast, we know we got certain things we can't talk about.
Yeah,
Right.
'cause
Right.
That's
we got to
realistic.
tone it down, and boy,
and what you
it is
said
so
earlier,
hard.
the
That's
teaching
right.
lessons.
Damon said growth comes
Exactly.
from conflict. You're
That's what
absolutely right.
Thank you. That's what I was just telling her. The teaching, she was just mentioning earlier, lessons.
Exactly.
Like lessons is good.
Exactly.
You get to watch a person have this frame of mind, and then it gradually changes to this through him
Right.
expressing how he feel, and someone having to check him.
And I almost feel like it feels like people are turning into sheep because it's just like follow,
Yo.
follow,
Hey,
follow
Hit the button, Jay. Hit
the
the man.
leader.
Hit
You know
the
what I mean?
button.
At the end of the day,
Wait.
don't say anything. Look this way, turn this way, whatever. Follow that, and it's like, come on now, like no,
Man,
no.
you said it right
know,
there.
That's not
Sheep.
that's not life.
I just
especially
got a message, and it said that Lucas talked to Tamika Mallory, and I guess we need to find that dialogue between Lucas and Tamika Mallory. They said it didn't go well.
Oh no, because look, I'm
Right.
telling you,
So
look,
now, Ty.
listen, go Google this guy, and when it comes to just put in J.W. Lucas interview, right, and then go to the videos. This is not the most egregious, nor the first, nor the last thing he said. He really has a disconnect, which is sad because he makes so much bread in the hip hop community,
Yeah, see,
which
that's
is predominantly
out.
African American. He is
That's out.
And that's
totally
no
disconnected.
different than what they've been doing us our whole life. They only come down here to take our money.
But
to
I feel
spend our
like that's
money.
what's wrong with history.
Damon put the
Because
big
I feel
sheep
like
up
this.
there.
Certain groups always have to be
You on fire,
aware
David?
of what not to say,
Right.
what to do, how to move, right? But at the end of the day, everybody's not taking the time to learn about different individuals and groups and communities or whatever.
True.
You don't see everything, and you don't see things represented correctly in history books. You know what I mean? They don't teach you things in school that you should be knowing that's about everybody, you know?
Right, right.
And so people have this false sense of of basically like confidence in things because of what
Real
they've
comfortable.
seen. You know what I mean? Maybe you've only seen one perspective. You know what I mean? But
Right.
when the paradigm shifts, basically, I feel like it's time for people to basically call out what they don't know. You know what I mean? Represent it more, whatever, and stop supporting all these fallacies because at the end of the day, you don't know everything that happens in the black community. You know what I mean? Neither do I, you know? And then you can't say that you are part of something or whatever and represent it and be so entangled,
Right.
you know what I mean? With like artists,
Right.
and you basically don't know what is going on. And on top of that, those are people who have money, you know, that you're
Hey, that's
dealing
funny,
with.
though.
So,
Shima said entangled.
And
Right.
yeah,
I caught that. I
the
caught that.
words is getting in your brain.
right.
We learned pandemic,
Exactly.
entanglement, and COVID
Yeah.
this year.
And Shonda brought up a good point. She said that Tamika tried to create dialogue, and that during that interview that J.W. Lucas he didn't care to listen or to learn, and
Exactly.
that's a key part. But if you go and look at the other interviews,
She's
trust
right
me,
about
go
that.
do that.
Yeah.
It's a pattern that he has, and that's what needs to happen. Now with this cancel culture, I don't believe everybody should be canceled for speaking their mind or their opinion. Not the first time. But
Right.
once you sit down with somebody and have that dialogue, if you still come right back with the
You have to be
insensitive
willing
comments,
to
then
listen,
let's cancel.
you know?
It's funny because
Listen
you
and learn.
Listen.
can even have
Because you could really be ignorant.
man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's people who, in the old days. I'm talking about white man, black man will sit down and have a healthy conversation about why they don't
Hash it out.
like each other's race.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
You
sometimes,
cannot do
I
that
was
no
watching
more.
a lot of James Baldwin.
but sometimes they'll
interviews
leave the
this week, too.
table with that respect,
Yeah,
that understanding.
Exactly.
yeah.
Like we sit down, we hot, y'all this, y'all that, but we leave. You know what? I like you.
Yeah, kind of like the Lucas video. What's that boy named Joyner Lucas? Remember he had them two dudes rapping, and they was expressing
That rap,
their differences and stuff. Like,
Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
can't
Man.
really do that no more.
That's it. Man,
Hey,
I
man.
want to
Close
thank
this
y'all.
out.
Y'all comments was amazing.
Definitely.
Exactly.
We love the support.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
know,
Tell 'em,
on
Jay.
IG, on YouTube. Make sure, because it's free, $99, that you subscribe.
Yes, sir.
like and share.
Subscribe.
Share also.
And everybody that comes on live on IG, check us out on YouTube, Our Beauty Equilibrium,
Yes.
so you can get into the
Please.
the feed of the message board. We really appreciate that.
Right.
Love you guys.
And we also got merch now.
Oh yeah,
so
we
Official
got
merch.
the
go
merch.
to the Art Beauty Equilibrium website,
Yeah.
artbeautyequilibrium.com, and you can purchase
We over
t-shirts.
here glowing, y'all.
You can
We glowing.
purchase Art Beauty Equilibrium
We
hats.
Roll with us, y'all.
We got the Wavy Wolf brushes, Wavy Wolf hats, Wavy
All
Wolf
that.
t-shirts.
We trying to do something, y'all. So
Exactly.
All right. Appreciate
Have a
y'all.
All
good
right,
one.
y'all have a great day.
Thank you.
blessings.
We can turn the ground. Kick it up.